Hi, friends. Got my damn helmet ready. I haven't done a live video in quite some time, so I figured I'd carve a few minutes out this late morning before the sky started falling to do a forecast discussion with you guys about the spicy weather we're going to see today. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to hop on, get situated, and then if you can like, share, and comment where you're watching from. This will help the algorithm do its algorithmy stuff. And obviously, the more people that see this, the better. That is the year-round Christmas stocking. For those of you that are new, that always hangs. It's always there, never goes away, because that's my personality. Good to see you guys. If you can hear me okay, let me know. Can you comment? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Commenting from Cheyenne. Cheyenne represents. Hi, Crystal. Terra Star Cat. I like that. Hello from Greeley. My laundry's done. Margie and Lone Tree. I've got some peeps listening on the tube in Strasburg. Awesome. Jen and Frederick. Hello. Stephen and Parker. Yeah, I can feel it too. It kind of feels eerie outside. Vicky is in Kansas. Good to see you, Vicky. Hello. Terry is in Monument. Valerie, hello. Awesome. So far, I've got loud, clear, loud and clear, loud and clear. Wonderful. Wonderful. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Katie is in Tinmouth. Hello. Gianna in Oshkosh by gosh in the Panhandle. Denise is in the Springs. Marcia, yes, helmet time. Northern Colorado Springs. Lori, hello, good to see you. Deb is in Longmont. Nick can hear me fine, thank you, sir. Eileen in Arvada. Joel in Akron. Madison in Denver. Great to see you guys. I know this is unannounced, I'm sorry. If you happen to join in the middle or at the end, don't worry, I'm recording this. I'll post it on the book face in its entirety when we're done. Akron in the house. Madison. Preston flies in. How screwed are you? You actually might be okay, possibly, maybe. Jen down in the donut hole in Pueblo. Hello. Linda's in Black Forest. Melanie in Longmont. Riley at the Air Force Academy. Good to see you. Baynard, Nebraska in the house. Sharon, thank you. Ann in Greeley. Okay, I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. There's a really important basketball game coming on soon. And the proverbial shite is going to hit the fan right around the same time. Lucky us. As you can see on the radar, this isn't a radar, this is a satellite loop. And this is Colorado right here. There's a pretty decent cloud canopy still over northern Colorado, southeast Wyoming, the western Nebraska Panhandle, which is right here. McCook, Nebraska probably sits somewhere in here, and then getting into western portions of Kansas right here. So what's happening here is there's really strong southwest winds coming off the mountains, off of the San Juans, the Sangre de Cristos, the Wets, and that's a downsloping wind, and that's really drying the air out. And I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. But those southwesterly winds are coming off the mountains. And out ahead of this developing dry line, there's strong southeasterly surface winds, which are helping to evict moisture in from the Gulf. And so we're seeing dew point temperatures climbing into the 50s in western Kansas, Nebraska, northern Colorado, where I'm at here in Greeley, the I-76 corridor, and getting up into the I-80 corridor. And what's going to happen here in a few hours, this strong dry desert air coming off the mountains is going to clash with this more humid air mass. And when you get two air masses of different moisture densities that collide along a boundary that we call the dry line, it collides violently, and the only place that air can go is up. And that's what we need to produce convection, thunderstorms, and severe weather is we need violently rising air. We need violently rising air, like I just said. Sorry, I think I just had a stroke. Maybe I haven't had enough coffee. For those of you that are drinking coffee, cheers. Okay, dry line. I'll do a radar simulation of what that looks like here in a minute, but that's how our dry line forms. You get warm, dry air that comes off the mountains. It collides with humid air out here on the eastern plains along the boundary we call the dry line. And you get explosive kablamos along the dry line. So let me switch gears here real quick. This is the NAM 3-kilometer high-resolution forecast model that does a simulated radar forecast of what conditions could look like up to about 60 hours in the future. And I want to show you what the NAM is showing us is going to happen here starting this afternoon and going into this evening. This is Denver right here. Some of the cities are labeled. Others are like METAR codes from like airports. So LIC right here is Lyman. This is Akron. Getting up here into Sidney, Nebraska, this is Ogallala right here, just west of North Platte. McCook is right here. This is Goodland, Kansas. Burlington going down the I-70 corridor. Monument Hill's right here. This is Colorado Springs, El Paso County. This is the Donut Hole, Pueblo right here, and then going down Highway 50. This is La Junta, out where Los Animas is at, Los Animas County, La Marce, Springfield's down here. So if you guys can get your bearings straight real quick. I know the maps are too small. I'm trying to zoom in as best as I can, but sometimes technology does not work the way I want it to. So that's why I'm recording this so that you guys can go back and go through the video at your own pace. If you need to pause and zoom in, do that. I'm doing the best I can with the resources that I have. So I'm sorry I'm not in a studio in Atlanta at the Weather Channel with $100 million in technology. I just do my own thing. But I understand that the text might be too small for some of you. I wish I could change that. Unfortunately, I cannot. Okay, so let's loop this radar forward throughout the morning. As you can see, the green is rain, the blue is snowfall, moving through portions of the San Juans. And as that dry air comes off the mountains, you can see at about 1 or 2 o'clock, the dry line is going to start firing here basically in Denver, the Denver metro stretching southeast, and it all depends on where the dry line sets up. If the dry line's a little bit further south and west, we could get some activity that builds on the Palmer Divide. That's why I said if you were along and south of a line from Casterly Rock to Lyman to Burlington, yes, it's going to be warm there today. And yes, there's going to be a lot of wind, but do not completely discount the threat of a few scattered thunderstorms between about 1 and 3 o'clock this afternoon. And it really just all depends on where this dry line is going to set up. But eventually, starting around 1 to 2 o'clock, you're going to see these storms fire along the dry line. And then throughout the afternoon, this is 3 o'clock, you're going to see them become a bit more scattered in coverage, and they're going to move towards the north and east throughout the afternoon and evening. I think by 7, 8 o'clock, the I-25 corridor should be fine. You're going west into the foothills. There's still going to be scattered showers. You're going to be running into some high mountain snowfall, some embedded squalls up here in the mountains. So if you're driving through the mountains today and going into tonight, be prepared for rapidly changing weather conditions over fairly short distances, especially traveling over the passes. Then, of course, rain on the lower elevations as you get out into western Colorado on the western slope here in Grand Junction. But obviously today's biggest concern as we go throughout the afternoon and evening is going to be the threat for thunderstorms that produce large hail, damaging winds, and can't rule out a couple of tornadoes. So in that, I'm going to draw a line from Denver to Lyman to Lamar. If you're anywhere north and east of that line, stretching up into far southeast Wyoming, the western Nebraska Panhandle, and of course getting into western Kansas, the threat for all modes of severe weather exists for you too. And obviously, it'll take a little bit longer for the thunderstorms to move out of Colorado and get to you in Nebraska and Kansas. But once they do get there, I think that's when they will reach their peak of severity. So while there is a threat for large hail here in Colorado, I think the threat is going to be maximized as these storms grow upscale and move into Nebraska and northwest Kansas later this afternoon and into this evening. So if you're in Goodland, McCook, North Platte, Ogallala, Sidney, even as far west as Scottsbluff, I would start making preparations now. Protect your vehiculars, bring those plants inside if you don't want your garden to get shredded. And then obviously there's the concern as well that you expose livestock and other animals, or the cows, the moo-moos, and the horses and other livestock and other farm animals to this as well. So that's why I'm coming on here now. That's why I'm telling you now, to give you a little bit of time to make some final preparations before the sky starts falling this afternoon. So I wanted to pull up current observations real quick. I know this is probably going to be small for some of you, and it's going to be like, Cody, what the hell is this? But these are current surface observations. There we go. And what you're looking at is a bunch of surface observations from various different cities across our region. I'll explain what this is in just a second. I know a lot of you look at this and your eyes glaze over, but I look at this and I'm like, ooh, severe weather. So let's explain what this is. GXY, that's the METAR plot at the airport for Greeley. GXY is Greeley. If you go south of Greeley to DEN, this is obviously Denver. Monument Hill, this is Lyman. Going out here onto the Eastern Plains, this is Burlington. You get into Western Kansas, this is Goodland. All of these three-letter acronyms, letters, represent different cities. Most of them are going to be at various airports or other city municipalities where there's a current weather reporting station, okay? So let's just pick Greeley because it's right here in the middle of the map. At the last check, the air temperature here in Greeley was 59 degrees and the dew point, which is in green, was 50. So pretty decent humidity and moisture in the air. Go down to Denver, we're at 61 degrees right now. The dew point's 46, okay? It's 63 with a dew point of 48. And as you go out onto the Eastern Plains, you get into a much more moisture-rich environment. So here in Burlington, it's 66 degrees and the dew point's 52. So the dew point's a little bit higher. The threshold we look at for severe thunderstorms, especially if you want large hail and the possibility of tornadoes, you want the dew point to be right around 55 degrees. So these are slowly starting to climb. We're getting there. We're not quite there across northern, northeast Colorado yet, but just remember you want a dew point temperature of at least 55 degrees if you want to start maximizing the threat of large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. And obviously, you're basically already there if you're in western Kansas. It's the air temperature 68 in Goodland with a dew point temperature of 54. These little barbs right here that you see sticking off of the station, those are wind barbs, and it points in the direction that the wind is coming from. And if you see like this G36, so let's look at Goodland right here. This is pointing towards the southeast, which means the wind is coming out of the southeast in Goodland, and it's gusting to 36 miles per hour, okay? If you go here to Akron, Colorado right here, 60 degrees, the dew point's 48. The wind is out of the southeast at 15 miles per hour, and it's gusting to 26. So what that tells me as a forecasting meteorologist is we're getting moisture advection out here on the Eastern Plains, which is helping to pump humidity, water, moisture out of the Gulf and onto the Eastern Plains, which is what you need ultimately to produce thunderstorms, some of which will be severe today. As you need dew points in the upper 50s, 60s. Ideally, if you want the threat for strong, potentially damaging tornadoes, ideally you want dew points in the 60s or even the low 70s. I don't think we're going to quite get there today, but by the time storms start firing along this dry line across northern, northeast Colorado, dew points are probably going to be in the mid 50s. So just think in your head, the higher the dew point, the more moisture there is in the air. The more moisture we get, the more instability we get. The more instability we get, the greater threat we have for strong to severe thunderstorms, okay? Everybody got that so far? I'm going to monitor. I'm going to go look at the questions, see if there's any questions real quick. Yeah, I know. Some of you are telling me that the text is too small. I'm sorry. I wish I could make it bigger, but that's what she said. Yes, I'm already wearing my helmet. Put on your damn helmets today. One of my sponsors made this for me. Insure You Colorado is an insurance broker here. It looks like I was an extra in an episode of MASH, but it says Cody the Weather Guy there across the front. It says damn helmet here on the side. And yeah, I'm going to be wearing my helmet today. So, all right. So for those of you that may be hopping on late, I'm recording this in its entirety. I will post it after we're done so that you can go back and reference this, but let's just go over this again real quick. Hopefully I can maybe zoom in on this a little bit if it will let me. Nope, that ain't happening. Okay. So here's what I want you to understand today. Storms are going to fire wherever the dry line is. Okay. Again, that's that warm, moist air coming off the mountains right here that is colliding with the more humid air out here on the eastern plains. They come together, they clash. The only place that air can go is up. Okay. So the dry line is your forcing mechanism today. And wherever that dry line sets up is where these thunderstorms are going to build. I believe the greatest probability where that dry line is going to be when these thunderstorms erupt is going to be in the Denver metro, going southeast towards Lyman and Lamar. So if you are anywhere along or north of a line from Denver to Lyman to Lamar, if you don't know if you're north or south of that line, Google is free. Denver to Lyman to Lamar, if you are anywhere along or north of that line, you are fair game today for strong to severe thunderstorms capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. Okay? If you are anywhere along or north of a line from Denver to Lyman to Lamar, you are fair game today. Okay? So that means Burlington, Goodland, Akron, Sterling, Fort Morgan, the Highway 34 corridor, Greeley, Longmont, Firestone, Fort Collins, New Raymer, Peets, Colorado. Hello, Peets. Sidney, Nebraska, Kimball, Ogallala, North Platte. Okay? Everybody got that? You are fair game today if you are along or north of that line. Starting around 1 to 2 o'clock, we'll see these thunderstorms fire along that dry line, okay? And then they will move towards the north and east throughout the afternoon and evening with the dry line. Let me see if I can show you what this dry line actually looks like. Oh, dew point. There we go. All right, so what you're looking at is dew point temperature forecasts on the NAM. Obviously, the dew points are actually a little bit higher than what the NAM is showing. So if you're a storm chaser and you like storms, the fact that surface observations are showing higher dew points than what the NAM is forecasting, that is a good thing. But what you're going to notice is a lot of reds coming off the mountain as southwest winds surge off the mountains today. So here's your dry line right here, stretching from about the Denver metro through about Lyman and down to Lamar, where exactly I said it would be when the storms would fire around 1 to 2 o'clock this afternoon. Yes, Zach, Pete's made the news in all capital letters. Throw a parade. But you can clearly see this boundary right here. Warm, dry air coming off the mountains. Dew points are in the teens and 20s. You might actually have high fire danger in far southern Colorado today. If you're south of Highway 50, no sparky today. No family barbecues outside. It's going to be too windy and too dry for that. Don't be a dum-dum. If you have graduating seniors, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. No outdoor sparks. Do it inside or in a swimming pool or in your bedroom. Use Gold Bond. No Velcro. Okay, but here's your boundary right here, clear as day. So warm, dry air coming off the mountains, clashing with the more humid air to the northeast of it, and the thunderstorms erupt right along this boundary. So wherever this boundary is set up, that's where the thunderstorms are going to start blowing up, and then they are going to move towards the north and east throughout the afternoon and evening. Okay. Cover my face again. Well, maybe if I don't cover my face and I get hit with hail, my insurance might cover it and I'll just get a new face. Is that how that works? I know it works for cars sometimes. So, all right, again, this is going to be recorded in its entirety and I'll post it as soon as we're done. But at the end of the day, I just want everyone to be safe today. Okay. And yeah, this is serious. You know, this is the first real serious threat for severe weather we've had so far today. So I'll update you guys throughout the day. I'm probably not going to be chasing because someone has got to do the dirty work. And I just happen to love what I do. You know, I just want to add value to you in ways that nobody else is doing. That's how you add value to the marketplace. You do what nobody else is doing. So while everyone's out chasing, getting pictures and having fun, I'm going to stay behind and give you guys the updates in real time because somebody needs to do it. So I'm going to do it. So, but I appreciate all the pictures. I love the videos you guys send me. Please continue to do that. And, you know, this isn't the first time that Colorado's seen severe weather. We're coming up on the anniversary of the Windsor tornado on the 22nd here in 4 days on Thursday. You know, and that was 17 years ago. Later this fall, the 101-year anniversary of the Thurman, Colorado tornado that killed 11 people. And I plan on doing a whole story on the Thurman, Colorado tornado. But here's my point. As long as we've had documented history here in Colorado with weather, we have always had severe weather. That has not changed, and it will not change, period. So it's just a matter of understanding local climatology. When you move here, did you do your research on what kind of weather we do here? If not, you're getting baptism by fire. So welcome to Colorado, where you can have all 4 seasons in one day. You can wake up, wear your parka, ditch it by noon, and then you're wearing your helmet by 3 o'clock because large ice is falling from the sky. That's Colorado. Congratulations. Welcome to the 303. And then, of course, that obviously extends into Nebraska and Kansas into Hale Alley. But yeah, 'tis the season. It's time to start preparing for severe weather season. And you're going to get a crash course on what that looks like today. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to refill and tip off on my coffee, and I'm going to get ready before the shit show kicks in. So you guys be safe today. Stay healthy. Take care of each other. Don't be dum-dums. Please like, share, comment so that we can reach more people. And of course, the updates in real time will come throughout the day. So James, baptism by fire is how we roll in the Shire. Amen to you, sir. All right. We'll talk again very, very soon, guys. Be safe.